Hey guys, welcome back to our second game for today on FSL League of Legends Vietnamese Qualifiers. Once again,
hmm
I am Hungry Cass, and alongside me is the talented, gorgeous, what's one more adjective? Hardworking Rirachu. Every time we do this, we'll just add one more adjective until it gets too long, and then
We
the guy,
have we have potentially 8 games today,
yeah,
so by the end we're
it's gonna
gonna
be a
have like
mouthful.
10 or 11. It's just what we need. Just go home later.
uh,
Alright, as if we are into our second game of today, it is going to be Iris Girls, winners of the round one
mhm.
versus Team Overpower, and they're going to go up
Oh,
against
hello.
FGirl. This is FGirl's first game of
Mhm.
today of this split of
Yeah,
the Vietnamese qualifiers for FSL. So, I mean, we're talking at the end of game one because Iris Girl showed such a dominating
oh yeah.
performance. We were kind of worried about FGirl because they're pretty much going into this game cold.
Yeah, this is like when five friends from solo queue decide to play like semi-competitively, and they
hmm
form a team and they come together, and it becomes very tricky when you meet this level of a competition. We are into the picks and bans right now. I just want to
Yep.
highlight that both Aphelios and Diana have
Oh.
been picked up by Iris Girls. I don't want to say that it's over, but these champions are a little
Wait,
busted.
are they allowed to pick
As far
Aphelios
as we
for
know,
this?
it
Oh,
was banned the previous game,
yeah.
both times. So
Uh-huh.
getting them this game is sort of a death sentence here for F goals. I think they may have made a mistake by not banning those two out.
Yeah, I don't think we saw the Diana ban last game, but of
It was
course,
actually, yeah.
was it?
hmm
Yeah, Diana's pretty much 100% pick ban.
hmm
Like Caspa Cup, Demacia Cup as well.
I
I
think
think the
in
last
Kespa there's
few
a
weeks.
global ban for both Aphelios and Diana.
Yep, and then
Yeah.
the 100% pick
hmm
ban is definitely like MF
Yeah.
for, for that one. But oof,
Right.
Aphelios as well as that, and with the Leona pickup as
hmm
well, that's so much gap close on the side of Iris Girls.
This
This is
is quite a frustratingly tough bot lane to play against
mm-hmm,
because right now you're running Xayah and you would expect the support to be paired with this to be Rakan, right? So
mm-hmm,
it's Xayah Rakan.
yep.
That's a horrible bot lane to play into, to play like with if you're playing against Aphelios and Leona because you don't have the potential to sort of deflect the aggression coming through, and you
Yep,
can't trade as well, right, against
exactly.
Aphelios. So,
Yep.
quite a tough bot lane right now.
Yeah, these Zyra combat ladies, you have a lot of mobility, you can move around the map. That's kind of the composition that F-Girl have really gone for. They've got the Syndra, they've got the J4. So they're definitely looking for a lot of those ganks at level 6, a lot of heavy roaming
Right.
across the map. That's what they're going for. And Bard, yep, exactly.
Whoa.
That's
Okay.
going to add to the mobility, to
No.
their composition.
The
Oh,
problem.
but yeah, the thing is, so they have a fairly good composition when you look at them as a standalone team.
Yeah.
When you look at them versus the Iris Girls team, it's like, as you mentioned, it's going to be bad going up against Leona. You don't really have a way to deflect Diana's gap close either, short of landing a very good Q straight in her face on the bar. There's not really all that much.
I think I'm just gonna call it right now. Like this is very early, right? This is still draft, but Iris Girls have gotten three extremely overpowered champions.
Yep.
When you think of
They've
like the
got the
nature,
Mord as
yeah, they got
well.
the Mordekaiser as well. These are, for lack of a better word, like broken at this point in the game. Like 9.24B, you get any of these, it's like a guaranteed win, right? Mordekaiser with Conqueror is just so frustratingly tough to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You pair that with the Aphelios in the bot lane and Diana in the mid lane, it becomes very frustrating overall. And this could just be the Trundle being thrown in for good measure to provide some sort of split push advantage if they need to, but I think this should be the Trundle jungle, which has seen some nerfs. Overall, not very strong. I feel like there are
Mm-hmm.
better options here. You could have still gone for the Echo, like Ellie did play the previous
Mm-hmm.
time. But you do need some physical damage here for your lineup.
Yeah, Echo, Gragas, maybe.
Gragas was banned, so yeah.
Yeah.
Lee Sin would have been okay here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go for that flex style kind of composition with the Diana
Yeah.
on your team, so the thing about F Girl, they do have mobility, they do have some sort of disengage, but what I'm really worried about is the pick potential
Right.
coming out from Iris Gaming. I think that once Iris Gaming, because I mean Iris Gaming, they're the reigning FSL Elite Champions. You're going to assume that they know how to play these champions. They probably play them a lot in recent solo queue patches as well. So we're expecting them to be pretty competent on these champs. Once they get that ball rolling, if they start snowballing, there's going to be zero chance for FGirl to really come back in this this game.
Yeah, this is the expectation you have with not only reigning champions, but a team as dominant as this that's been together for a while, previously known as Box Gaming, now holding this draft. It is a sight to behold. It is a terror because right now there are so many options for them to execute how they want to play this out. They could always run the Mordekaiser focus in the top side against what is ostensibly a Senna top side, right? Very mobile champion. If Mordekaiser gets a small lead, it's going to be tough for them to deal with the Mordekaiser. In the mid lane, Diana has a lot of control against Syndra, which is extremely immobile as well. If you want to deflect the aggression, you have to time your Scare of the Week
Yep.
with her rush, like
Yep.
the Luna rush. Very tricky,
Yeah.
mechanically speaking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are tools that FGirl has. You're talking about the Syndra stun. There is the Zaya ultimate as well, and then the bar Q that we were talking about. But the thing is, you have to time all of those so well, and not all of them are going to be useful against the Leona,
Yeah.
especially once she hits that post level 6. So it's just, I think, really hard for FGirl to play this one out. I mean, FGirl, the thing is, they're hoping that once they hit level 6, they all have power spikes, but that's going to be a very dangerous time for both these sides on the map. And we've been talking a couple of times about how Iris Girls, they are the reigning FSL Elite champions, and they're not just the reigning champions, but they've kept all 5 members from that championship team. I think they've only changed one member of their team. I think she is the sub for today's game. So they've kept all 5 of the members of the roster, and that's the team that they're fielding right now.
Right? The only other team that's done that in Vietnam so far, as I know, is EVOS Valkyrie. And the previous qualifiers for Vietnam, EVOS Valkyrie got knocked out very early by Box Gaming. So the idea here is there is some sort of rivalry between EVOS Valkyrie and Box Gaming, and these are the only 2 teams to have held their roster for like about a year right now. Coming in, it does appear that Iris Girls are the more dominant version of this Vietnamese female teams. We saw concurrently EVOS Valkyrie had some trouble closing out the other game that was being played, so I think overall in my books, Iris Girls are the team to beat in Vietnam. We'll have to see how they perform right now with this super stacked competition, or super stacked roster rather.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're about down to about 30 more seconds before we get into game. So Hungry, I know you did a lot of prep.
I have like a book
for
of Aphelios notes right now.
No, they're gonna screen cap this and then.
So I have the Aphelios notes and I have right now the Senna notes as well. Yeah, I pretty much prep for all this. Diana is like fine because the only major change for Diana is that her E and her R have pretty much swapped, right? So you get access to the Luna Rush at level 2. It's not an ultimate skill anymore. Whereas that Cascade, you know, the sort of like vacuum that she does, is now ultimate skill. And in addition to not only drawing people in, there is a delayed AoE burst that comes after that does AoE damage. There is some synergy between Diana, Leona, and Aphelios here when you look at how they want to engage and force fights and, you know, complement each other. So I do like this draft overall, but I'm pretty ready to talk about this Aphelios Leona lane later when we load into game.
Yeah, I'm expecting a pretty bloodthirsty, exciting game. I mean, Mordekaiser, Diana, as well as Aphelios being picked up for this side of Iris Girls. I don't think that that's something we're actually going to see in the rest of this FSL entire season. I don't think any team is going to allow that to happen.
Anyone that's playing against Iris Girls or knows that Aphelios is up open has to permaban it. Like, there is no excuse for leaving that champion up. And if you've seen it in solo queue, you've seen it in multiple, you know, levels of play. It is an extremely strong champion, but it's also one that's reliant on the flexibility and the player that's playing it because of the 2-weapon system. Kind of tricky to master, but if you can understand how that works, and Bong has showed us that she knows how to play this champion, or play multiple ranges, different range of champions, she should be pretty comfortable in this.
Yeah, I think the only real downside, just because Aphelios is a new champion, is that playing against Aphelios, it's a bit hard sometimes visually to really see what gun he's using, because I've played against Aphelios a couple of times, and I think that's really the only downside so far. I think some of the VFX could maybe be touched up a bit. Hopefully, but we're here to walk you guys through all of that.
Hopefully we do see the right team take some criticism there and make it a bit cleaner.
5 man. No, they're going over a ward.
Okay.
No. And another ward. No.
Oh, man. Throwing down
all the wards. Yep. Oh, man. But this is the sort of nice aggressive play that you want to see to get the Iris Girls team going. I mean, if they'd gotten a sneaky sort of first blood right there, that's sending a message.
they do this all the time. In most games, they'll try to find an early advantage by getting proactive information on where the opponent jungler starts,
Yep.
and then work that into their own pathing, and which is why Ali is one of the more consistent, aggressive junglers when it comes to FSL, because with the added information, she just does, she reverse engineers her path and knows where to end up at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that you brought up those 2 points. First, of course, is the good vision control that we saw from Iris Girls in the first 10 minutes of the last game, which really netted them a lot of that early control and the early first blood as well. The echo kill that she got over in the river towards top side off of the Jarvan, purely off of the wards. And also, we're looking at the comments of game number 1 over in the stream chat, guys. We're quite a number of Ali fans are saying like best echo,
Oh, yeah.
that sort of thing. And I mean, definitely compliments, well
Very, very good.
deserved.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Topside, the range advantage being exploited right now by Senna. It is to be expected, but Mordekaiser is more than capable of holding her own at level 6. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, HHQ actually went for the level 1 Q. Traditionally, you would see Diana players take W to absorb the harass coming in, but in this case, she's the one that's actually poking out her opponents. Playing super aggressively, pushing the wave out. There is a ward on the Raptor camp, which will spot out Jarvan the 4th over there. So this gives Ali information. She's cleared the bot side, level 3. She's walking to the top side. She's going to get early access to not only her camps on the top half, but also the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, it's definitely a win. Going over to that side early on right now. Senna's just gonna, I think, drop the ward. A bunch of missing pings going on over in the top side, but yep, a lot of damage. A nice follow-up from Diana over in mid.
Good bind coming in, has to be careful with the damage, but only level 3 doesn't have access to enough damage to finish off Senna. Meanwhile, on the top side, we do expect her to just be scaling up, right? The nature of Senna as a champion is as such. You want to hit the late game, get to the point where you can start dealing significant amounts of damage through autos. Meanwhile, Ali getting caught out in the jungle. Will have to smite the blue buff for additional health though, but getting ticked down very quickly already. Here comes HHQ for the assist. They're duking it out in the jungle, having to flash away. The damage on the Jarvan, it's good. It's going to be HHQ that finds the first blood. They might be able to turn this one around. HHQ now looking for the double, having to back off because Senna is here on the top side. A bit thirsty for another kill, but will eventually choose to disengage, and that is an early double for HHQ in the mid lane.
Oh no, the downside, the only downside was that Ali had double buff at that point, so she actually gave them up to FGirl, but the thing is, and then HHQ got the double, so now it's Diana with the double buff after that red and blue transfer from her jungle. What?
Like we were saying, you know, this matchup super tough for Syndra because the moment she uses Scare of the Week poorly, there is a window for Diana to just rush her and all in and exploit that weakness. Damage coming down the bot lane in the form of the Gravitile Cannon will be rooted up. Hugh having to be used early and proactively by the AD carry backing off now. Good amount of damage onto the support as well. FGirl's taking a lot of pressure across the map on multiple fronts.
Yep, and Diana right there flashing her mastery with the backup of Trundle. And Mordekaiser, I think they did steal some jungle camps. He picked up the blue buff on the blue side. But as you're talking about, a bit aggressive over in bot lane. However, FGirl do have sustain coming out from the Bard heal.
Very close.
No. Yep, there is that nice hot chocolate right there for her to get back some health, and now she's gonna look to want to farm up safely under the tower. She is level 3, so it's not the worst for her to pick up the wave.
I want you guys to kind of look back and reflect at how that early kill happened in the jungle, because Ali did get additional information of Jarvan's pathing, was able to hit to the top side, and thus surprise the Jarvan the 4th in the jungle and get early advantages. This also allows them to secure the bottom Scuttle Crab, and as 4 members, they will be walking into the jungle for some additional vision and information being gathered.
Oh, they're hitting bot side now. A lot of pings going down. J4 and Bard. Okay. Overpowered. They're gonna, I mean, Iris Girls. They're gonna back off from that one. I meant, my brain was like, Iris Girls, they're overpowered.
Yeah, gotta nerf them.
Nerf, please. Nerf Ali. Nerf HHQ as well.
This team
Nerf
is just,
the whole team.
they are stacked in general, right? You just really have to be careful. One mistake is all it takes.
Bong. I mean, pretty much any one of these players could carry. Maybe not Leona. Maybe not Leona.
But we'll see, because as Leona in this game, KZ's gonna a lot of the focus of this Leona is gonna be on finding the right angles for engages.
Mm-hmm.
You catch a proper member out of the solar flare, because they're so immobile, you actually guarantee an instant win on any
Exactly.
fight.
If there's a follow up from your team, you've got the ignite going down on the Leona as well. Right now, Syndra really low on mana is gonna be forced to hit back to base. Oh no! Gets it cancelled with the Q and that
This is a
BM
problem. Yeah.
Fiora emote too. Huge problem for Team FGirl.
She's gonna not only lose this wave, and
Oh no.
at least Jarman's there to pick it up. But
Yeah, but now she's wasting the time of her jungler as well. Disaster.
this is all in. She's dead.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Yeah, that did look.
So now the EXP is lost in the mid lane. Not only do they lose the gold as well as the EXP, HHQ is super far ahead.
Oh no, and the J4 is pinging the Diana too in chat.
They have full control of the mid lane right now, which also opens up bot and top, because HHQ can start to roam, and there's no way that Syndra can match the roam, right? All she can do is just push up and hope she doesn't get pressured out.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we were talking about Iris girls. Once they get that early game snowball, the early game roam, it's gonna be really hard for FGirl to really try and counter that. And Diana, as you're talking about, she's going to have the entire map to herself. And the thing for Syndra is, if she does push up, she's very susceptible to the return gank herself. So it's not an ideal solution for her right now. Topside.
Yeah,
Here's
looking to make the play
Diana.
happen. Great
Syndra.
double stun, actually. Might just find a kill here, but using the Delph Realm to deny the unleashed power from the Syndra. Taking this fight, though, Ren will sacrifice herself here, I believe, as she uses the W. Oh, here comes the Diana. Great amount of damage, though, to turn this one around. HHQ making things happen. The out from Senna, not enough. HHQ going in once more, maybe a little too deep here, as she has to take a quick exit stage right to get out of this fight.
Whew. Did pick up a very nice kill though. Talking about kills bottom side right now. Bard gonna be stunned up. Here's J4.
Jumping onto the backline, looking for Aphelios level 5 only, so no Moonlight Vigil available, but we'll turn the fight across with the Crescendo. Here comes the ultimate, not enough to finish off the Xayah Moonlight Vigil, only proccing on a single member. Iris Girls firing on multiple cylinders in all lanes here, establishing their dominance early in this game.
Yeah, HHQ's accuracy with the Q that then enables her to gap close is really a thing of beauty to watch, because we talk about Diana having mobility all day, but it's kind of like Irelia, right? You need to know how to time it, you need to know how to position, or you're just really not going to have that mobility advantage. But HHQ, I mean, the way she does that, chef's kiss.
Yeah, this is going to be a champion that's for banned against her right now. Her strength on this Diana is just so scary. She understands what are the windows to all in, how to abuse the roams such that the opponents can't follow up, and if they do check into vision, they're dead. Like right now, checking the vision, Zenith Blade onto the backline should be a very dead Bard.
Oh, Bard!
Eventually will take down, and they find a kill on the support in this bot lane, finding advantages by themselves as well.
Oof, yep, bot lane, level 6, both sides did have that level 6 available, though. The thing with the Bard is we're talking about it's difficult versus the Leona, especially because once you both hit level 6, Leona's ult has that slight delay, but it's pretty much instant, versus the Bard, who if he's gonna try an R to save you, I mean, he's not gonna have enough time. 9 times out of 10, and right now, just solo. Oh... It misses.
It misses, but the flash was expended.
So Syndra does make it out of that one, just barely, however. But I mean, just the amount of pressure the HHQ is constantly putting down, not just in her lane, but in the surrounding jungle as well. Absolutely insane.
And this is why it's such a big threat, right? The value of the Diana against these immobile mages. The moment you don't have flash, you're forced to use it if she all-ins you, and you scatter the weak while she has another window to jump in once more. Right now you can see the focus is sort of split here. Trundle moving over towards the top side to claim the Rift Herald, because the bottom side is Mountain Dragon. And as we all know, the new Mountain Dragon only gives you armor and magic resist. No more structural damage bonus, so it's kind of worthless in that way.
Yeah. Oh. Top side Mordekaiser going. Yep. Okay. Senna's gonna make it out of that one. But as we were talking about earlier, Senna's really sort of champion that you want to collect mist And then you're kind of one of those top lane champions in the vein of Nasus and
Yeah.
Cho'Gath, where it's like you leave me alone for 30 minutes and then I stroll out of the jungle at 30, and then I'm just gonna 1v5
Yeah.
everyone.
Jumping into the bot side, Bard is going to get stunned up. A great solar flare on top of the support, and casting the Moonlight Vigil, though, not really going to connect with any damage. With Herald taken on the top side, they will find a Jarvan kill in the bot half as well. Featherstorm should be enough to get the kill on Aphelios, but here comes the Mordekaiser in the Death Realm. Not sure how far the Xayah can go from here, though. We'll be able to find a kill onto the Leona, and Mordekaiser still chasing down, looking for the extra damage, needs to get it. Will finally get it and find a double before popping the stopwatch. Insult to injury here.
Oh man.
Actually, might be able to turn this one around.
Wait,
Actually, good damage,
what?
but no. The last Q.
That-
Oh, man.
That looked close for a while. But I mean, while all that was going on, Iris girls are going to be able to two-man pick up the top side. Actually, tier 2 tower with the Diana as well as the Trundle. So it's definitely a huge win for the side of Iris girls. They're 12 minutes in and they're actually 6,000 gold
Kind
up
of
off of FGirl. They've got the minions actually pushing into the inhibitor tower at the 12-minute mark.
kind of reminiscent of the previous game. The only difference this
oh
time
no.
is they got
So
like the
they're gonna
busted
get
champions.
So they're gonna get their Baron stolen, and then
I
the
hope
other
not.
team's gonna turtle till 25 minutes with the late game jinx.
I mean, with this composition, the late game isn't as strong as the Jinx insurance because you have Xayah with very little peel and very little frontline, right? Speaking of frontline, Bart gonna get caught out using the damage coming in from Aphelios should give her the kill, and there you go. 3-1-1 with a fully completed Infinity Edge first item, just casually picking that up.
yeah, this is really hard for FGirl because
Oh,
oh no, J4.
See ya, buddy.
Oh no. Syndra with the nice stun for the disengage. Leona wanting to go for the chase though.
Oh man, that is some great CC chain, and yep.
Oh, that was instant. The second that
So good.
HHQ saw Leona land the solar flare, she just went in with
So
the
good.
Q and got close. That was nice. The thing is, for FGirl, if you're a team that's running something like a Bard and a Syndra, once you fall behind, it's almost impossible to get back into the game like we were talking about, because Syndra, you're behind on items. Oh no.
Oh, they might be able to find a kill here. Oh, Moonlight Vigil actually not connected into the Xayah,
Xayah
so
really
there's a
low though.
decent chance here. Actually
Yep.
managing to find a kill and Zenith in on the back line should be able to get them to double.
That crit from Aphelios to really pick up the kill on Desire, that was pretty dirty. As you were saying, Syndra, if you're behind your items and if you've lost control of the map, you can't roam. That's pretty much all your advantage gone. And right here, J4 just trying to get his
Stop
own
it!
red buff,
They already
buddy.
did! We'll find a consolation in the mid lane, and man, that is tricky.
They're 10,000 gold up right now, and it's only been 2 minutes since we last took stock of the situation. They do so much damage. Senna right now trying to make it out on the miss, but Trundle with the chase down, lands the pillar, and a club to the face.
I feel like, I don't know, bad casting this because
Yeah.
Iris girls are just so far ahead with the composition that is kind of, it shouldn't be legal to play. Let's just put it that way, right?
Yeah, this should not be aired on broadcast television.
Using the Death Realm onto Jarvan the 4th, taking
Leona
this
looking
1v1.
for the entry.
Actually, we'll find the kill there, and I've seen this one before. I know how this ends. Bard is gonna escape across the wall using the magical journey. Don't really want to stick around and fight. At 15 minutes, the goal lead is 10,000 for Iris girls.
Yeah, it's one of the times that having the Bard on the team has really been helpful. We're talking about how previously, just because they're so far behind, generally as Bard, you want to get those early Moby boots down. You want to go for those roams, set up the W, use the tunnels to really help gank for your side lanes. But this, especially since, you know, she's got Xayah, which is kind of self-sufficient, especially past the level 6 point. But just this game, they've fallen behind. Bard isn't able to roam, neither is Syndra, and FGirls, I don't see any way at all for them to come back.
Really, really tricky coming in. Just want to point out that the first item HHQ went for as Diana was the Iron Sensor. That is not a misbuy. The way the item works is when you press W, you get the bonus by yourself as well. So you get additional attack speed when you press your W when you shoot yourself. Oh, bait coming in. Featherstorm being used. Having to back out now is HHQ. She's a bit past enemy lines, so we'll have to back out.
She's feeling a bit YOLO at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point. Although she's 5-1-1, she's the only member on her team besides her support who actually doesn't have bounty. So you know she'll go where she wants.
Fair enough. Speaking of no
Oh.
bounty, Leona jumping in, no fear for her life whatsoever. Moonlight Vigil is going to guarantee the kill on top of the bar. And here comes Mordekaiser. Death Realm not available though. Will flash out to try and land the pull back in, but will not be able to do so.
Yeah, trading flash for flash, but Iris girls are gonna have 4-man right here, just making sure they clear out all the vision. Oh, I say that, but Diana recalls on the ward right there, getting caught out.
That's a classic.
That's the Faker
Yeah.
classic. That's actually the Faker classic. Recall in a bush, in enemy vision.
Get caught out by a
Get
stun.
killed. Yeah. And then it's bragging rights for like the rest of the other players' life. Like, I killed Faker that one time. Oh, I got HHQ's Diana one time.
Going back in for the fight though, actually not landing enough damage to flash out from the Bard should be able to get her to safety.
Yeah, Ren not able to get the pullback on the Mord means Bard is going to be able to make it out of that one.
Well, you see the danger here. Every time these fights break out, Zenith Blade lands, Solar Flare lands, you're forced to expend a flash to get out. And on the repeat fight, it becomes a lot more tricky to navigate the terrain.
Yeah, suddenly the next 2.5 minutes you have to be a lot more careful as even exploring your own jungle. Bard right there knows that multiple members on Iris Girls have just recalled. So that area was safe, but not for much longer. I mean, FGirl are trying their best to have a lot of good vision over in the blue side jungle. You can see both top as well as bottom side. They have a lot of the entrances from the river warded up. So they're trying to do what they can.
Right. Oh, Dragon
Trundle.
Drag not really
1v2.
landing though. King's Tribute will heal her up. Remember that she did get the second Rift Herald, so this is another window for Iris Girls to sort of exploit if they want to. They can pop in the mid lane and open it up. Alternatively, they can start to siege inside the base and guarantee that they get some good damage onto a inner structure.
Diana's so far ahead, she's split pushing at 18 minutes. What am I even seeing? Oh, nice flash out from the Jarvan, but the bait!
This is an extremely dead Jarvan.
The bait and switch uses the Cataclysm as well, so isn't going to be able to have that to try to defend from this Iris Girls push. Oh, nice Q through the wall.
Mid lane being pushed in, the Rift Herald was activated already, and we'll get the second charge down, maybe even the third one here.
Yep.
Onto the inhibitor.
Shelly. There was this, I think this...
Oh, hello?
Wow,
Where did the bar go?
Lichbane, what?
Oh man, that was class. That was a classy move.
Yeah, she knows it. She just shot up her own flare. Yep, she knows she's styling, girl.
19 minutes in, HHQ 7-2-2, diving the Nexus turrets just to get a kill onto the bar. And ladies and gentlemen, a game is over when when the enemy is able to do that just so simply.
I feel like the theme of HHQ for this game is just, hey guys, new year, new me.
She performed like this last year as well.
She
did keep up to form, so I'm quite excited to see what she has in store for us this FSL. Iris Girls now back to dominant form. The name has changed, the style has not.
Oof, the style definitely is not. I mean, the whole team just styling on their ops at this point. Diana, low in mana, knows she's got some self-awareness, knows that she needs to back off at that point. But right now, FGirl, they're trying to do as much as they can, just trying to not venture too far out from their base, trying to keep those wave push. But meanwhile, of course, Iris Girls are going to be able to pick up all the other objectives on the map. They've got their minion waves push, they're going to pick up the dragon, they use Shelly very well to ensure that first inhibitor pick up.
And the second on the bottom side was open as well.
Yep, and they do have the inhibitor, the empowered minions pushing in through the mid lane and now too. So all in all, FGirl don't have very many options left over. You feel like Iris Girls right now, they're setting up for the final push.
Yeah, speaking of setting up, moving on to the top side, using the Proto Belt
Not
as well as the Death Realm.
No!
Leave the Jarvan alone. She's using the Cataclysm, trying to trade damage across, but you have to think it's a futile effort.
She's trying her best.
Pushing in, looking for the dive now.
No,
HHQ
Diana.
doesn't care. No, the disrespect. She's gonna die.
Shut down. We were talking about it earlier because we have the feed from
Oh, yeah.
Vietnam, and
Vietnamese
so
client.
it's in Vietnamese that
Chum dude.
I'm not. I was gonna say I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. That means shut down, guys, for all you non-Vietnamese
Chum dude.
speakers. We've casted enough
Yeah.
Southeast Asian League of Legends to pick up the lingo. Nice shutdown.
Baron has spawned. All 4 members of Iris Girls moving over to take the objective. Remember that HHQ, being a bit reckless, did dive the base and went down there, but this should be a clean and simple objective take. There was no jinx on the map, so I don't think a steal should be coming through. Yep.
We're safe. We're safe. We're
In
safe
fact,
this game.
Ali did smite it this time, so that's a 2 thumbs up.
What
from
would
Hungry
be
Cast.
really funny is if Bong pinged her smite again this game. I mean, I would do that.
Yeah.
Most
Always
people-
ping smite. If the Baron
Exactly.
wasn't smited, then always ping smite.
Exactly. Especially when you are the jungle and you miss the smite. And they're like, question mark, just ping yourself. Just own it. I was just gonna say, I love the preseason VFX, like the flowers and the water, especially Dragon Pit. It looks so nice right now.
It does, unless your laptop is a toaster. Then the moment the rift changes,
Oh no!
your laptop decides to actually overheat, and then
You know what? 2020 for you should be new year, new laptop.
You know what? I'm cool.
New
I just
year,
need to
new
play some League. I'm
laptop.
good.
Yeah.
I've made like, oh, hold on, fight breaking on the top side. They don't care about this turret because they're just going in. One slam with the mace is all it takes to get the kill on Syndra. But in that fight, Bong did fall, so there is gonna be no AD carry for the siege. Ophelios now in the respawn chamber, but some part of me thinks that Bong isn't even necessary at this point to finish the game off.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think that part of you is right. If you look at the dive right now from HHQ once again, she's not gonna dive the base, is she? Come on, has the ignite. Not gonna be enough to finish her off though, and she's just gonna use that Fiora smite again. But as she does that, the rest of her team look to be ending the game right now. Only second Nexus tower going to go down. Only the Nexus left.
They're still chasing for the kills, looking for more, and
Oh,
they're jumping
man.
in. Oh, guys.
Come on,
Oh, man.
girls!
The 4-man bind. I've seen this before, but no, the game will eventually be closed out. It was touch and go there for a second, but Iris Girls show that they can still close out games and have fun while doing it.
Yep, literally, I think it was touch and go. It's like they wanted to tag a member from the FGirl team. I think at some point, none of them were hitting the Nexus.
Yeah.
It was purely the Winions ending the game
Dive the
for
base.
them.
Yeah.
It was dive the base, pad the KDA.
Mhm.
Yep, but once again, I mean, what a dominating performance
yeah.
from Iris Girls.
Like, the moment I saw the draft, I kind of had an inkling of how this was going to go.
Yep.
It went
An
more or less,
inkling.
more or less exactly what we expected, right? And
Mhm.
I think Iris Girls have made a very strong statement so far. 2
Mhm.
games in, no sign of weakness so far, apart from, you know, a bit of cracks here and there when it comes to closing games out when they're super confident.
Yep.
They're like, let's have fun now.
Yeah,
And then HHQ just walks into the base, right?
yeah, kind of the sort of thing that we see, I think, especially from Team Asterix from
Oh,
Singapore when they're ahead, when Candle burns ahead, when
Yeah.
she's on that Akali,
I
and
don't
she's
want
like
to throw this
6-0,
shade because,
and
you know.
she's like diving base.
Mm.
She's like, wait, why did I? And then she dies, and then she gets a shutdown. Bit of that sort of energy, I think, coming into this game. But
it's all fun and games still when you're this far ahead. It's like,
mhm,
you're okay having fun because
Mhm.
you know you can still close out the game. The margin is that big.
mhm. Yep. And with that, guys, I think our next game is going to be Iris Girls versus
The winner of EVOS Valkyrie and V Gaming, which is on the
Yes.
concurrent stream.
over
being,
on the Vietnamese
yes.
stream. Guys, if you're watching our English stream, it means you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. If you are on Facebook, we do have a concurrent stream with the Vietnamese broadcast since we are playing a double elimination bracket. I
Yes.
think at some point the games will eventually join up and
Mhm.
we'll have the cast
Yeah.
in of the same game in
I think
both
that's,
languages. But for now,
Yeah, that's actually the next game, if I'm not wrong, where
Mhm.
we both cast, both us and the Vietnamese
the
casters.
the third round of the
Upper
winners bracket. Yep.
yes.
Exactly, is when we will eventually two roads diverged
Oh,
into a wood.
Robert Frost. Love that poem. But for now, guys, we will be going for a short break. Jenny's about to have a lunch. When we come
Hey.
back, we will have the deciding one. The winner of this is going to make it into the finals and hopefully play for a chance to represent Vietnam in FSL Elite later on in March. But for now, we'll be going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.